Good evening. I am very excited to give you out the anecdote behind the birth of Mindgle. I owe the birth of Mindgle to my own students, my own classroom experience, walking through every day's happy moments with my own students, and also empathizing their pain points and traveling the journey with them in a nutshell. All right, so we all know that this generation kids, who are the Gen Z and the Gen Alpha ones, they are on one hand blessed with an ocean of information. So information is always knocking at their doorstep. Well, on the other hand, they are gullible to certain very serious constraints. And those pressures are social exclusion pressure, peer pressure, social expectation, being often, falling into the trap of filter bubbles where they tend to see the information, believe the information, and surviving through the information, which once upon a time probably they hooked onto, and the algorithm keeps on showing it to them. There is cherry picking, where they often selectively pick up information which conforms to their beliefs. On top of that, there is echo chamber, where they get into the chamber of kind of information which keeps on reverberating and which makes them believe. Now, where is the information coming from? We don't know. Probably their social group, or probably information is there throughout. So, and they keep on reiterating that information, often unquestionably trusting it to be true. On top of that, there is fear of missing out. Missing out what? So these children are often in the fad of following their social groups. So naturally, the information which probably is with the friend and not with the student. So the student feels, well, I'm deprived of that information. And on top of that, there is a tremendous competitive race and a humongous pressure of doing a bunch of things, and that too in a stipulated timeline. We can't deny the life of a teenager in this era is not easy. It might appear to be very funky with glams and shims, but yes, it's not easy to lead their lives. Now comes the big question. When they are in the middle of so much of pressure, how do they handle pressure? So what happens is, after all, now we cannot deny that after all they have human mind, and the human mind hooks onto the cognitive load theory, which says that human beings, we are innately cognitive misers. We don't want to load our mind with a whole lot of information and make it very tired. So we tend to hook onto certain mental shortcuts, which are known as schemas, and which are based out of our prior experiences, based on which we make a sense of the whole world. So this is how the human mind is supposed to behave. Now, what happens to these kids? They also tend to hook onto shortcuts. For them, the difference is, instead of hooking onto their mental shortcuts, they hook onto external shortcuts. And that is where they keep on searching for answers. The moment they get a question, the moment they encounter a question, immediately they just move their fingers at a super lightning speed across the letters of their smartphone pad or their laptop and try to search the answers on ChatGPT. Now what happens is there is something called as neuroplasticity, which their brain is missing out to experience. Because neuroscience says that when any learner, be it a mentor, be it a student, after all, everyone, all of us are learners. So when any learner, speaks to his or her own mind, the mind starts soaking the information and applies certain filter funnels to give certain cognitive understanding of shaping up the idea. And for that, the mind often needs the breather to reflect, to question assumptions, to look through the lens of uncertainty, make some predictions, forecasting, understand or try to find out evidence which probably is there around, or if evidence is not there, then definitely the mind would do some research. That's perfectly fine. Try to find out some contradictions as well. So this journey of the mind is pretty much rugged, and it is through this rugged journey the mind, the neural connections get strengthened. This is what we call as challenging the mind. And what happens is through BDNF, which is called Brain-Derived Neurotrophic Factor, the brain sharpens its neural connections, strengthens its neural connections, and promotes neuroplasticity, which of course the end result is sharpening your thought process, making your thinking more chiseled. This is what this generation kids often miss out on, because instead of exercising their mind, really make the mind enter the gym, they just adopt an external shortcut of hooking onto the load of information which is pretty much available. Boom. And this is what gave the birth to Mindgle. Mindgle tries to strike or revolutionize, I would say, a pattern of shift in thinking where it reinforces, tells the learners that please hook onto the search engine which is embedded in your mind before you search the web. Of course, you're going to search the web. Of course, you're going to take the hand-holding of AI, because it's going to help you to do further research. No doubt, you're going to definitely use it as an assistive tool. But first, sharpen your thinking, and then you will see AI is going to orchestrate the answers much better and more powerfully for you. That's what Mindgle is all about. Thank you.